A very good morning, dear students. Welcome back to animal classification. So last time up to arthropoda we have finished. Today let us continue with the next topic, that is phylum Mollusca. Okay, now the phylum Mollusca, what are the characters of it? Okay, here they have non-segmented body. Okay, non-segmented means there are no segments like that of annelids like earthworm, and arthropods like a cockroach. They do not have any segments on their body, so therefore they are called as non-segmented. Also, they are soft and slimy, and this soft and slimy body is covered with a shell so as to get the protection for them. Fine. Now, since they are soft and slimy, they are referred to as mollusks. Mollusk means soft and slimy, and therefore the name of the phylum is Mollusca. Let us see what are the other characters of these animals. Okay, so these animals are mostly found, okay, habitat if we talk about, they are found mostly in aquatic or terrestrial habitat, and if they are in aquatic habitat, mostly they are found in the marine waters. Now other characters, like what is triploblastic now. So triploblastic, they have a true coelom, so they are also called as eucoelomates and non-segmented. Fine. Then except snail, all others show bilateral symmetry. Snail is asymmetrical, whereas all others are bilaterally symmetrical. Okay. Then a major characteristics about these mollusks is that their body is divided into three main parts. The first part is head, second is visceral mass wherein the soft flesh will be there, and lastly is the foot. So three divisions: head, foot and visceral mass. The middle portion is called as a visceral mass. Fine. Then their body is this visceral mass is covered with a mantle. You can see that mantle which is yellow in color, and this mantle later on secretes a hard calcareous shell. The shell which is there, it is made up of calcium carbonate, and therefore it is called a hard and calcareous shell which is secreted by mantle, and that mantle is present above the visceral mass. So remember this, dear students. Then this shell may be either external or internal. Okay, so it may be present either outside their body or it may be present inside their body, or sometimes it may not be present at all. Fine. So there are certain examples or certain animals in this group which do not have at all any shell. Next, these animals are unisexual. That means male and female sexes are separate. Fine. Then the common examples of these mollusks are bivalve. Bivalve means nothing but you might have heard about Shimplia, or you have eaten them. So since there are two covers for it, it is also called as two shells are there above and below. Therefore it is called as bivalve. Then second is snail, and third is octopus. Now let us learn about some of the amazing facts about octopus. You know that octopus is the most clever animal among all the non-chordates. If we see all the non-chordates, it is the most clever animal. Why? Because it can defend itself from its prey, from its predator, by just changing its color, or if it wants to catch the prey, it changes its color according to the surroundings. So therefore it is called as a very clever animal. Not only this, it has three different types of locomotion. That is, one, it can swim, second, it can creep, okay, and third, it can even walk. So these are some of the amazing facts about the octopus. Now let us move on to the next phylum, that is phylum Echinodermata. Okay, now the word echinos means spines, and derma means skin. So here these animals have spiny skin on their body, and therefore they derive this name, that is Echinodermata. So these spines are mostly calcareous, means calcium carbonate. So calcareous spines are present on the body of animals belonging to this phylum. Hence these animals are called as echinoderms, which in Greek language means spiny skin. Remember this. Echinos means spine and derma means skin. So spiny skin. Fine. Now these animals are mostly found in the ocean. They are found in the ocean. Okay, remember this. So their body again is triploblastic, eucoelomate, that means true coelom is present and also shows a bilateral symmetry in the larval stage, not in the you can see in the larval stage when they are in the larvae, that time they show bilateral symmetry. Otherwise, you have learned when you were learning about the criteria of classification, new criteria for classification, that time you have learned that the starfish has radial symmetry or echinoderms have radial symmetry. Fine. So but in larval stage they show bilateral symmetry. Next, now how do they walk or how do they locomote or move? They have a special structure called as tube feet, with the help of which they can move from one place to another. And not only this tube feet can also help in capturing the prey. You can see how a prey has been captured by the starfish. Okay, so these structures what you can see they are holding, they are called as the tube feet. So not only for locomotion but even for capturing the prey. Now other characters are, they are some of the animals are non-motile, or when they are non-motile they are also called as sedentary animals. So these are sedentary, some of them, not all, some of them are sedentary. Fine. Now these animals are mostly unisexual, that means male and female are separate, okay, and have also have a good ability of regeneration. Okay, so not only sexual reproduction they even have asexual type of reproduction, and that is regeneration. So you can see how they can regenerate. Okay, so okay, you can see how regeneration takes place. That means if any one of them get detached, that other part will be the starfish, the same starfish will be able to generate that same part. Okay, now which are the common examples of these echinoderms? They are starfish, you can see starfish, sea urchin, then brittle star, then sea cucumber. Sea cucumber looks like cucumber what you eat, that is why it is called as sea cucumber. Okay, fine. Now let us see what are some of the facts about this. So in certain situations starfish can break apart its body part and regenerates those later on. You can see how it can regenerate. Okay, so like this it regenerates. Fine. So it is about the amazing fact of the starfish. Now let us move on to the next phylum, that is phylum Hemichordata. Now hemi means, you might have heard hemisphere. Hemi means what? Half. Okay, so that means they are half chordates, and half non-chordates. That is why they are in between chordate and non-chordates, and therefore they are put in between the non-chordates and chordates. Now after this we are going to learn about chordates, and before this we have learned about non-chordates. So since it is falling in between these two, it is also called as hemichordate. Now what are the characteristics of this? The body of these animals shows three distinct parts. Okay, three distinct parts. One is the proboscis, like a long beak like structure, that is called as the proboscis. Then there is a collar here and the trunk. Okay, so its body is divided, again I am telling you, three parts. One is proboscis, collar and the trunk. Fine. And then here in this case notochord is present. Okay, but it is not present throughout entire length of the hemichordates, but it is present only in the proboscis part. Therefore, since it contains in some part notochord, fine, whereas other part doesn't contain any notochord, therefore it is in between chordate and non-chordate. This is one character. One more character is there, that is they are having even gill slits. Fine, gill slits, pharyngeal gill slits are there. So these two characteristics make them closer towards the chordates. Fine. So now notochord is present in the proboscis region only in these animals, and these animals are commonly called as echinoderms. Okay, so they are also called as echinoderms. So remember, dear students, it might be asked during the exam. What is another name for hemichordate? So you will have to write echinoderms. Remember this echinoderms word. And then these animals, where they are found mostly in the marine habitat, and some of them live in burrows in sand. Why in burrows? Because they have a long proboscis. So with that proboscis, they drill the sand and then go inside the sand. So they burrow in the sand and there they stay. Fine. Now they have one to many pharyngeal gill slits, so which is a characteristic of the chordates. So they have pharyngeal gill slits. Now, which are the common forms of hemichordates? Are nothing but the balanoglossus and secoglossus. So these are two examples of these hemichordates which you have to remember. Fine. Now, what are some of the facts? So balanoglossus shows characters of both groups, that is chordates and non-chordates, and it is considered as connecting link between the non-chordates and chordates. So this is one of the amazing fact. Now let us move on to the last phylum, that is phylum Chordata, which is the highly evolved group of highly evolved phylum. Fine. And why they are called as chordates? Let us see now. I have already discussed before also what are some of the characteristics of chordates. Okay, so let's begin. Now all animals belonging to phylum Chordata have a supporting notochord in their body. So that means they have a supporting rod for their body, and therefore they are belonging to Chordata. Okay. Now phylum Chordata, in this again you will have three more subphylums. Okay, therefore these characters are included in all those subphylums. Fine. So notochord is present in their body during at least any developmental stage. At least one of the developmental stage, notochord will be present, and therefore they are belonging to chordata. Second, pharyngeal gill slits also are present in their body during at least any developmental stage. And heart, as you know, it is situated on the ventral side of their body. Okay, that means this side. Dorsal, actually non-chordates, if the heart is present, it is present on the dorsal side, whereas in the case of chordates, the heart is present on the ventral side. So this you have to remember. Now let us see what are the three divisions of phylum Chordata. So phylum Chordata is divided into three broad groups. One is Urochordate, second is Cephalochordate, and third is Vertebrata. Let us see each one of them. First one is Urochordate. Now Urochordates are mostly marine animals. So most of the animals are lower animals are found in the marine waters. Okay, so Urochordates are mostly marine animals, and their body is covered with a special skin test called as tunic, or they are also called as sometimes tunicates. Fine. So their body is covered with skin test or tunic. Okay, so it's a special structure for them. Then in now why they are called as Urochordates? It's because in Greek Euro means or aura means tail. Okay, aura means tail. And why it derives its name Urochordata? It's because notochord is present in the larval stage of these animals in their tail. Okay, notochord is present in the tail region of the larvae, and therefore they are called as Urochordate. So larvae of animals belonging to this subphylum have notochord in the tail region only tail region. Okay, so it is mentioned that the notochord will be present at least in any one of the developmental stage. So here it is present in the larval stage, and that too it is in the tail part. Therefore it is called a Urochordata. Aura means tail. Remember this, dear students. Now this larvae which is there are freely swimming freely swimming. That means they can swim in the water, and but once they divide and redivide, or their growth and development takes place, that is metamorphosis takes place into adults. When they form into adults, once they become adults, they go and settle down at the bottom of the sea. But when they are in larval stage, they are mostly free living. That means they move in the water freely swimming. Fine. Now, about their reproduction, they are sexual reproduction they show, but they are bisexual. That means hermaphrodite, male and female are in the same organism. Therefore, they are also called as hermaphrodite. So this is regarding the Urochordates. Now, what are the some of the examples? Common examples are Herdmania, Doliolum, and Oikoplura. So these are three examples what you have to remember for this subphylum Urochordata. Okay. Now let us see now the next part, that is the next subphylum, that is subphylum Cephalochordata, which is belonging to chordate, second phylum, subphylum. Now animal belonging, you see, if you see this animal you will find as if it is like a fish. Correct. So since they are small fish like marine animal, but not exactly fish, they belong to this subphylum, that is Cephalochordata. So they are fish like marine animals. Now here the notochord is present throughout their body length. Notochord is present from the top to bottom. Fine. So you can see the notochord nicely shown over here, and they have large pharyngeal gill slits. Pharynx is large and perforated with numerous gill slits. So there are numerous gill slits like that of the fish and all. Okay, now these animals are unisexual. Now Urochordates, they were bisexual because male and female were in the same organism, whereas here male and female are separate, so they are also called as unisexual animals. Then one of the common example of this is fish like. You can see it is looking like a fish, but it's not fish. It's belonging to subphylum Cephalochordata, and name of that animal is Amphioxus. Okay. Now, let us move on to the last subphylum of phylum Chordata, that is Vertebrata or Craniata. Now, why they are called as Vertebrata or Craniata? It's because they have a vertebral column. Notochord, simple notochord has been replaced by a strong vertebral column. Okay. Now, since they have a vertebral column, they are also called as Vertebrata. Fine. Now, they have a well developed brain, and this brain is covered with a cranium. That means the brain is protected with the skull, or also called as cranium. Then, if the endoskeleton is present, the endoskeleton is present only, endoskeleton may be either cartilaginous. Now, this is called as a cartilage. Okay, this is also called as cartilage, wherein which is hard and soft, but not breakable. It will not easily break. So this type of skeleton is called as cartilaginous endoskeleton. So like shark has cartilage. Fine. Or it may be bony, as in the case of other fishes. Fine. So bony endoskeleton or cartilaginous endoskeleton. Then some of the chordates do not have the presence of jaw. There is no jaw for some of them. So those which do not have the presence of jaw, they are belonging to the superclass Echinodermata. Okay, one of the example of superclass Echinodermata is lamprey. You can see there is no jaw for them. So they are belonging to a separate superclass called as Echinodermata. Whereas some, on the other hand, those who have jaw, they are called belonging to Gnathostromata. Okay, superclass Gnathostromata. Like for example, shark has large jaw. You can see how large the jaw is. Okay, fine. So that it can nicely have. Now this subphylum, that is Vertebrata, is again divided into 6 more classes, and these classes are Cyclostromata. First class is Cyclostromata, second is Pisces, third Amphibia, fourth Reptilia, fifth Aves, and sixth Mammalia. So in the next video we are going to learn about these classes. So till then students, bye and thank you. I hope so you have understood this video. Fine. So thank you very much.